What's going on, people? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We are 14 weeks out, well, just under. It's Tuesday today, so last Saturday, a few days ago, that was 14 weeks out. Okay, from my first regional competition, which is September the 21st, Two Bros in Maidenhead. Now, as you well know, if you've been watching the channel, I'm doing classic physique this year. Last year was men's physique, where I did my first regional ever, first comp. Got the overall win, a Two Bro show, then went to Alicante and did a pro qualifier, got second in my class. So I was very happy with that, but my passion always lied in classic physique. Could have done classic last year, I just wouldn't have done as well as I did in men's physique. The lower half just wasn't there, especially through the rear shots, hamstrings and glutes, and that's what I've massively brought up this year. Through two very heavy leg days a week. It's been a grueling off season. I pushed myself to the limit. When I look back at this past off season, I put on a ton of muscle. It's looking to be somewhere, I know the numbers don't really matter, right? It's about how you look on stage. Obviously, we all know that. Somewhere around, now last year I stepped on stage at 98 kilograms. You know, we dropped down to 95 and then filled, all right? I'm currently at around, I'm 110 kilos today. Yesterday was actually 111, so I had a kilogram drop overnight. And, you know, I'm creeping in as almost as lean as I was when I stepped on stage last year. Not quite. So, you know, there could be somewhere around 8 kilos of stage weight gained, stage tissue. So, now the numbers don't matter, but it's just a cool representation of how much has been gained this off season. I've pushed hard. I have not taken any breaks. Obviously the deloads along the way, but I haven't had any time away. I haven't been on holiday. I haven't been on anything. It's been as soon as I got off stage last year, 100% relentless progress from then till now. I had a lot of muscle to gain. You know, I've got a big frame to fill out. I'm 6'3" and then some, like almost 6'4". So, you know, to actually look big at that kind of height, it takes a ton of tissue, and I'm nowhere near where I want or need to be. But, you know, that is the beauty of the game. It's constant progress. As soon as you reach a goal, the next, you know, goal is there, the goalpost moves, right? And that's why I absolutely love bodybuilding. It's just continuously working on yourself. There is no sort of end game. I guess Mr. Olympia is the end game, but then, like, for everyone, but it's like, then you win that, it's like, right, let's win 2, let's win 5. So it's like there is never a final point, which I love, because you're just continuously moving forward. So prep's been going an absolute breeze, to be honest. The current setup, I'm not doing any cardio. I lose fat very fucking easy. Like, any coach that works with me, they're like, what the fuck? Like, it's stupid how easily I lose body fat. It's just genetics, right? And being a bigger guy as well. You know, if I was to be doing cardio now, I would just come in so quick and just be dropping weight too fast. So yeah, no cardio, 12.5k steps. I'm actually going to do full day of eating video next vid, where I'll go through all my food and macros and whatnot. But I thought I'll just touch base and let you know how we're getting on. A fasted check-in, which I haven't actually done yet this prep, and I will continue to do these now. I enjoy doing these vlogs, so I will actually just keep them up, to be fair. So I'm looking a little bit flat through the top line through those videos. I had a very busy weekend, traveled to Birmingham, had a client show. She won the overall, first time a show in Birmingham, PCA. Won bikini tool, class win, and then won the overall, the sword, which was fucking epic, to be fair. Massively proud of her, and it was an amazing experience. But obviously lots of travel, sleep was affected, unfortunately. Obviously everything was on point, my food, organised it all, meal prep for the weekend. But yeah, just you know, being in prep and travel and whatnot just does fatigue you somewhat. So yeah, now some things to consider when starting a prep. Obviously, just talking about myself as well, like, this prep's been very, very straightforward. My life is super simple at the moment. Being single is one thing, and just keeping to myself. Got my new flat, you know, I'm all settled in here, 2-bed flat. which is lovely. Got my space to myself, living area, desk, bed. You know, for me, I've never been more mentally clear and focused and at peace, which is the perfect mindset for a prep. Some things that, you know, just thinking about, you know, Lizzie, my client, and also myself going into prep, some discussions were had about, you know, is this the right time? And this is what everyone should think about. You know, finances. Prep is very expensive. You know, bodybuilding is expensive. You know, all the shows, everything that goes into it, the food, the supplements, anabolics if you are on assistance, travel, show registration, your tan, all these things you need to consider when going into a prep. So if your back's against the wall financially, I would, you know, consider not doing it, because then, you know, financial stress has to be one of the most potent stresses, right? The thing that stresses us out the most. If you've got financial issues going into a prep, it is not the best time. All right. Now, secondly would be just mental stability. Make sure you are mentally sound, or as much as you can be, right? I don't know whether any of us compared to bodybuilders are probably mentally sound, right? It's a bit of an insane sport to go through. But, you know, peace of mind, not in a situation where you're going through ridiculous heartbreak, family grief, all these things, because it will only perpetuate these things and make it worse. And the worst thing for your physique and progress, fat loss, gaining muscle, is stress. If you're highly stressed, you will tear through muscle on prep. You will look flat, you will look watery. All right, so, you know, please consider these things. And lastly, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. All right, make sure you're doing it for yourself. If you're just doing it simply for Instagram clout, when things get difficult, and they will get difficult, whether that may be, you know, sucking ass on very low food, you're starving hungry, beasting yourself on cardio, getting up at the crack of dawn, doing all your steps, and then just the overall fatigue of being so shredded, you know, training, all these bits. If you're not doing it for the absolute passion and love of it, you will really struggle to find your why and why you are doing these things. And this was when things fall apart. You know, people eat off plan, they cheat in secret, they're not pushing themselves in their training, they lose muscle because they're training like shit. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with not being, you know, there's nothing wrong with loving training and being a, you know, a bodybuilder, building muscle and getting lean for summer, but not competing. You know, that is the vast majority of people who lift, that is them. And there is nothing wrong with just doing that, you know, but pushing yourself to that limit of actually getting stage lean takes a whole nother level of passion and love for the game, because it is fucking hard. Like, it's not just physically hard, it's mentally hard as well. You know, the mind games, the body dysmorphia, like looking at your check-in shots, hating what you look like sometimes. Like, even, you know, myself, like I feel like I'm very, you know, I'm pretty logical. I'm a coach myself, so I look at physiques, but even yourself, you have, you know, emotions, right, about your own physique. Some days you look at them, you're like, I just fucking look shit today, I'm flat, whatever, I'm not going to do well. And then other days you wake up, maybe after a good session the day before, maybe after a refeed, you're full, you're like, fuck me, I look epic, I'm going to fucking smash this. So it just comes and goes, and that's why having a coach is vital, because they take the emotion out of it. They look at the physique as it is in front of them and make logical decisions without emotion. You know, towards the end of prep is actually quite a good idea just to take your check-in shots, video, whatever, send it to your coach and just don't look at them again and let them do the decisions. Because, you know, if you stare at them for ages, you're picking yourself apart. It's not good for the head. When you're very vulnerable towards the end, low energy, emotional. So yeah, that's a massive thing as well, the mental side of things. But that's not me complaining. I fucking love it. It is why I love it. Is it's difficult, and things that not many people can do, I take, you know, massive enjoyment out of like thinking to myself, I'm doing, and by a lot of people compete nowadays, not a lot of people actually get truly stage lean. You know, you see certain shows, people turning up with fucking saggy ass, fat fucking coming over their hips and their trunks. You know, that ain't impressive, and in fact it's fucking embarrassing. But to actually get stage peeled, stage condition, and hold muscularity is something that, you know, few and far between people can do. So that's why it's so fun to me. So, you know, if that's what you take enjoyment out of, you take enjoyment out of, you know, the suffering and the difficulty of it, then maybe it is for you. But if you don't, then keep fucking pushing yourself in the gym, train, lift weights, you know, get lean for the summer. But, you know, if you're complaining every day and hating it and moaning on your story, you don't have to do it. No one's forcing you. You know, it doesn't make any difference to anyone if you compete or not, if you hate it, right? No one around you wants to hear you moaning about it every day, trust me. And I find the more you complain about it, the more you talk about how hungry you are and how fatigued you are, the realer it gets. Me personally, I will never say out loud to myself, I'm starving, I'm hungry. I might, you know, express to my coach, I'm feeling battered, I'm feeling fatigued, right? But that's feedback that they need to know in case of change is needed. You won't hear me moaning on my story, oh God, you know, it's such a hard day, like I'm so hungry. As soon as you start doing that, you know, it becomes a lot more real. Those feelings are enforced into your brain. If you're just like, you know, I'm hungry, but fuck it, like it's you know, we got to do this, we got to push through. That's the mindset you need, that strong mentality that, yeah, it's difficult, but I'm choosing to do this, I want to do this. If it's difficult, something's fucking working, right? So, yeah, it's one of those things. And another tip for prep and discipline and just overall adherence to a plan, and even if you're not this person, right, you want to have in your mind that you are this, like me personally, right, all my clients know and look to me for inspiration of discipline. And over the years, I've built up this somewhat of an image, and also, you know, I portray ridiculous discipline. You know, I am very meticulous with food, and you'll see me fucking dead before I eat off plan on a prep. Right? If you ingrain this identity into your head, it will be impossible to eat off plan on a prep because it goes against everything you stand for. You know, if I was to be in a position where I am literally starving, I'm about to pass out, you know, in my head I'm thinking, if I eat off plan, that goes against everything I stand for. All my clients are looking to me for inspiration or to set the example, right? What sort of man would I be if I go against my word? Me personally, if I say I'm going to do something, I will do it. And there is no better feeling than, you know, backing up your words with actions, right? So you must become this person in your head. If you're like, I am that guy that is disciplined, I am that guy that no matter what happens, I will see it through to the end and stick by my word. You know, you become this person in your head, and if you break your own promise, what are you? You know, you have become someone you're not, and that is the worst feeling ever. And I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. And that's the mentality that I have. Like, it sounds extreme, right? But that's, you know, there are times that are extreme in prep. My camera battery just died, so I'll finalize my point. I hope this helps anyone starting off a prep with tips to sort of get yourself aligned mentally before starting a prep. And it sounds like I'm talking very extreme, like, oh God, you're only doing a fucking diet, you're training, you're not going to war, which is true. You know, we are doing something we love and it is enjoyable. I absolutely love it. I'm not putting myself through this because for no reason other than I absolutely love it. But there will come times where it is very difficult, is my point. I'm not trying to over exaggerate the difficulty to sound cool and to sound hardcore, because right now I'm actually feeling very good and I love it and I enjoy it. It's actually easier right now for me than the off season where I was suffering hard on very high food, sleep was poor. But my point being is, for a lot of people, Some people have to suffer more than others, especially if you're new to it and you've got less muscularity, you'll have to just dig on lower food. My point being is there will be times that are very difficult, and you have to remember why you're doing it, as simple as that, and get everything in alignment before you start. Mentally, physically, have good health, okay, get your blood work done, financially, your relationships, family. If everything's in alignment, it's a great time to start, and you will do well if everything there is, you know, where it should be. But if any of those are in a dire situation, you will struggle to see it through, and it will have a negative impact on the final look. That's not to say that you can't get over these things. You know, my prep last year, I had a lot of stresses, and I'm surprised I did so well. But I compartmentalized it and put it to a side and imagined it wasn't happening, which isn't that healthy. So I've learned from my mistakes last year, and I'm put myself in a very sound mind this year, and I'm very much at peace, which is the perfect position to be in. Okay, so short, sweet waffle there, and I will do a training video and full day of eating next. Take care.